I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Jim, and Happy New Year to you.
The industry that produces smart meters has finally admitted something that you've known all along. These things can blow up and catch fire.
Yes, that's true. In an industry journal, it's called Energy Manager today, recently they had an article, and there was also a presentation. And Dr. Rubin, who is part of the industry, said that smart meters have some problems. And he acknowledged for the very first time that they do explode and they have caused fires. And he spoke quite extensively about a power surge in Sacramento, California last year that resulted in several hundred smart meters exploding and blowing off homes. They also talked at this meeting quite extensively about the fact that there are design flaws and there are problems with them that have not yet been addressed. And also the fact that it's very easy to reverse engineer these meters, making it easier to steal energy, which, of course, is another thing that we've been talking about, the hydro, and which hydro has been ignoring. So between the fact that these are fire hazards, and we've got these on our homes against our will, the great savings that hydro is professing to see because it's stopping energy theft is probably not real. And industry is saying that both of these are major problems with the designs of these meters.
What have BC authorities said about this?
About the fires?
Yes.
Well, they're still saying nothing has occurred, that there are no fires. And I'm still working on a major report. I was hoping to have it done by now, but somehow the days just aren't long enough for me to fit them in, all the work in that I'd like to do. But I've got evidence that not only have there been fires and there have been failures, but the system is so badly, it works so badly, it's so incomplete, that they don't know what's happening. There are so many holes in the system where the fire reports are not being made on a timely basis to the fire commissioner, where the fire commissioner doesn't get full details about what is happening, even to make his annual report, which consists of just counting number of fires, that the safety authorities are not allowed to inspect or called in to inspect many of the electrical fires, and when they get there, the meters are often gone, and it's just one thing after another. No one knows what's going on. But yet BC Hydro maintains that there have been no fires. They have no basis for saying this whatsoever, and in fact, they're not being honest about it. There are fires, there had been fires, and many of the electrical fires that are occurring aren't even investigated. So we don't know what the cause is. There could be other things out there besides smart meters that are causing problems. But I can tell you that just the few hundred reports that I've requested, just on a random basis, people will be shocked to see my report when I finish with it. Because it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. And as far as power theft is concerned, hydro, people probably saw in their local newspaper, Back Publishing, on December 27th, released Hydro's annual financial report, and it was a year-end report for smart meters. In fact, it was the last financial report for smart meters. And in it, BC Hydro was claiming all sorts of benefits and all sorts of great savings that we'll see. I mean, most of this, if people really look at the report carefully, they'll see that there aren't such things as savings. In the report, Hydro said, within 25 years, so 2013 is what there's, 2033, there will be benefits of over $300,000 from this billion-dollar-plus program. Now, that's not much. That when you think about it, that's not much. And this billion-dollar program that they've started will probably be 2 or 3 or 4 billion by the time 2033 rolls around. But what's really concerning is that the benefits that they're citing, which are only $15,000 a year on an investment of over $1 billion, come from things that they can't substantiate. They say it's basically from theft deterrence, reduction in theft. But yet the industry is saying there is no way that theft can be deterred. In fact, they're saying it's easier with wireless devices, with these wireless meters, than it was with analog to steal it. Hacking is easier. Anybody with a computer or a cell phone can hack into it. Also, this report is failing to include many of the things that we've discovered. Prime is that these meters have been overstated, oversold to the BC Utilities Commission and to the government, saying that they have a life expectancy of at least 20 years. We know that the analogs have a life expectancy of 30 years or more, and these pieces of plastic are supposed to last at least 20 years. Well, industry is admitting, and we have a testimony before the U.S. Congress, as a matter of fact, from one leading smart meter company that says the actual life expectancy is closer to 5 to 7 years. So that means that within the 30 years or 25 years before we're supposed to start seeing some benefits, these will have been replaced probably 3 or 4 times. This has not been built into the financial statement anywhere. There's no contingency fund for that. So when you ask, what does Hydro say? They've got nothing in there about fires in their financial report. They've got nothing in there about the fires that they've paid for, that they've paid to insurance companies for claims, or that they've paid customers. There have been some homes where there have been fires where Hydro has paid for it. They've also paid for damages to based upon the fact that there was sloppy and careless installation. They hired these people straight off the street to install meters, and as a result, there were quite a few homes that suffered damage, either physical damage to the home, like, in one case, the siding was damaged. They pulled off the siding when they pulled off the meter. In other cases where they jammed the meter into place and they hadn't turned the power off, so a lot of appliances and televisions and computers and things blew up. In other instances, they caused a fire right then and there. So there's nothing in there about these costs. So when people look at that report that Hydro is putting out there, they can't believe a thing that's in it. That's what Hydro's telling us.
Is this a perfectly good example of what they call fake news nowadays?
Oh, man. I don't know if it should be called fake news. It's certainly fake. I mean, we've been told this over and over and over again that there are going to be all of these benefits. Nobody anywhere has seen any benefits. And they have the nerve to say that through their customer education program, all but about 30,000 people now have smart meters. Through their customer education program, people were coerced, threatened, harassed, punished, charged exorbitant fees. This is through their customer education program. They should be ashamed of themselves. There's nothing here in this report that we can trust. And I think that, it just is typical of Hydro and this government right now, that we can't really trust anything that they tell us. It really is a shame.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
Gem International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond producing country in Africa, located next to the fourth largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109 carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. Gem International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, of course, the main reason that you were concerned about smart meters to start with was the microwave radiation they put out. Are you concerned that that radiation might also be one of the reasons why the poor little bumblebee is now on the endangered list?
Yes, I sure am. And as you point out, one more bumblebee. I think this is now 7 different types of bumblebees. It was the first one on the mainland U.S. There were quite a few in Hawaii. But, yeah, they're on the endangered list. And many people have noticed and reported on colony collapses and the fact that, the pollinators are having a great deal of difficulty. They're having to bring in bees from afar. And, it's the scientists that are looking at it are saying that they believe that it's a combination of factors. You can't just blame the microwave radiation that's, all over the place and you can't escape. Although there have been many studies that have shown that bees do react very, very quickly and dramatically. There are studies and demonstrations, if you Google and look for bumblebee and cell, see where people have, scientists have shown, for instance, if you put a cell phone that's on under a beehive, that the bees don't return. They do not return. Now, they don't know whether it's because they feel the radiation and they stay away, or whether it's because the radiation interferes with their tracking systems, their natural guidance systems, and they can't find their way back. But many hives that are near cell towers or smart meters have been abandoned, and the queen is left to starve, and the hive dies. This is well known. It's been well documented for many years. Now, this is not the only pressure on these important little things. They also are facing the pesticides with the GMO foods. They're facing all sorts of different viruses, and their immune system is weakened by the radiation, just as our immune system is weakened by exposure to it. And as a result, they can't fight off these other things the way they used to be able to. And as Einstein said, once the pollinators are gone, once the bees are gone, we have 4 years left. We need these little things to keep our food, to pollinate our fruit and vegetables. And they're going, as are the birds, are the bats. These things are telling us something. They're reacting to it now. But humans are reacting to it too. We know that. The incidence of cancer is increasing, even though the Cancer Society and Perry Kendall deny it. The American Brain Tumor Association, put out a recent report saying that the incidence of brain tumors is increasing dramatically, especially in the age group of 15 to 39, which is the age group that you'd expect to be seeing hit hard. These are, first of all, the first generation, really, that has been exposed from even before they were born, but also the heavy users of cell phones. And it takes between what is estimated about approximately 20 years for the cancers to develop. So now they're seeing that these cancers are becoming more common in this particular age group. And what is really concerning, in this report, it said that the cancers seem to be different. The tumors are different in composition than other tumors used to be, or tumors that they find in older people. Somehow the composition is different, and normal treatment is not as successful. the longevity is significantly affected. So there are major problems going on here. And they've been tracking it in the United States now. Canada doesn't have cancer registries like this. We don't have a brain tumor registry. And that's why the Cancer Society and people like Dr. Perry Kendall can say that there's no evidence of increase. It's because they don't know. That old saying, if you don't look, you won't find, seems to be the motto that these people are working with right now. We've asked for registries to be started. And as a matter of fact, in 2010, the HESA committee, the health subcommittee that provides guidance and instructions to Health Canada, I helped organize that one in 2010. We brought in several world-renowned scientists from around the world to talk about the problems that our safety standards are far inadequate, that the proliferation of wireless devices is uncontrolled and is dangerous. And one of the results of the HESA committee was a strong recommendation to Health Canada to begin a registry, to begin tracking the number of cancers, the number of people with Alzheimer's, the neurological problems, but especially the cancers. Let's track the brain tumors and things like this. And it still hasn't happened. And this is 7 years later. And in the last HESA committee in 2015, they also said, let's get a brain tumor registry going. I don't know what the problem is, but there's no reason to believe that the incidence in Canada is any different than the incidence in the United States. We use the same patterns, we have the same company selling cell phones, 75% of which are believed to emit radiation that is higher than the legal allowance. And ads are on television, and parents are being told, look at this, you can give your child a cell phone while he sits on his potty chair being trained. It's a great toy. Pregnant women are not told not to put laptops on their stomach or to sleep with their cell phones. All of this is now starting to come home. Just as many of the scientists have predicted, the bodies are going to start piling up, and then maybe people will start paying attention. But this report on the bumblebees is a direct relationship to the report in the Brain Tumor Association, I believe. The bees are responding, and so are humans now.
It seems to me the federal government has a horrible record when it comes to following recommendations for our safety and health. Transport Canada said 30 years ago they should be putting recorders into every aircraft so we can find out why they crashed. They still haven't done it, and nowadays they're just a few $100s. You can get a dash cam for your plane, for God's sakes. And of course now you have recommendations that they should be tracking brain tumors, but they're not doing that either.
Nope.
Do you feel totally frustrated that the people who are supposed to be looking after our health are doing everything they can to squirm out of that responsibility?
Yeah, it is frustrating. It's frustrating that agencies like the Cancer Society goes around collecting money like crazy, and many good people are working, to raise money, and what happens? Nothing. The pharmaceutical industry shuts down research. The Canadian telecom industry fights simple things like even putting labels on cell phones to tell people not to put these things against their head. I mean, it is so frustrating because the science is there, but people don't know about it. Jim, a typical example is, and I had it in last night's update, I believe. No, maybe it's in the night before. Wi-Fi in schools has been something that we've been working on and trying to warn people about. Children are the most vulnerable in our society, and yet children are being exposed to strong commercial-grade Wi-Fi modems from the time they enter school, from kindergarten on. This is unnecessary. You do not need wireless modems in schools to provide children with good computer access. What you can have, and what many schools already have, is good fiber optic cable. fiber optic cable is faster, it's more efficient, it doesn't irradiate, and it's also more secure. But schools are, I don't know why, I suspect it's because of money. That's the only reason I can figure it out. Schools are going the Wi-Fi route and encouraging children to have their cell phones on, their tablets on, all day long. And parents are not told about the dangers of this. And in a recent article that was found in Ontario at the Peel School Board, there was a directive from the school board to the principals and teachers to not discuss Wi-Fi problems with parents. Do not let parents talk about it on the school property, and do not let parents hand out flyers. They don't want people to know. And I think that this is something that is insidious throughout our society. The industry is driving this. They don't want people to know that their product is dangerous. And the agencies like the Cancer Society and our provincial health officers like Dr. Perry Kendall are abetting this. They are being negligent in that they have the information and they don't do anything with it. They refuse that any problem exists. Perry Kendall is still saying, after having supposedly read, I know he's been sent hundreds and hundreds of studies, he still says on his website, there's no convincing evidence of harm. There's evidence of harm. If there is evidence of harm, his job is to take precautionary measures, to warn people, to tell people how not to use these things, how to use them safely, or to remove them from the homes, or to tell schools they shouldn't be doing it. Schools have the duty to protect the children, and they're not doing it. They are deliberately hiding this evidence as well. School boards have been given evidence. I know parents, I know many parents and teachers who have given this information to school boards, and school boards are denying it. I don't know how we get around this, Jim. The only way I can think of is for more and more education through programs like yours. We've got to reach the people. And they're going to have to raise a hue and cry. They're going to have to stand up like Canadians don't like to do and complain. And they're going to have to demand that changes be made for the sake of their children, if not for themselves.
Sharon, is there a website people can go to get more information on this?
Yes, they certainly can. The coalition website is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And there are several excellent new websites that I've put on our website. There's one that came out, Amy Worthington is a very well-known author, and she wrote the Radiation Poisoning of America a few years ago. And I recently found her website. As a matter of fact, she sent it to me. And it's really excellent. It's got so many scientific studies on it and really, really excellent information. If people would go to our website, they could find a link to this. I would highly recommend it. Amy Worthington, WORTHINGTON.
Sharon, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate your time.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. You're listening to the Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Questions for the show can be emailed to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.